Okay. Before starting today's lecture, I should mention again. I should repeat that because of the education announcement, we changed it. We had to change the time of the classes. So I grouped both of the groups in a single group, and I changed the time of the class. On Saturdays, we use uh, links of the class of the first group, and on Tuesdays, we use the links of the group of the second group. Okay, and also I upload the first assignment. You can find the first assignment or homework number one in the LMS. You have 1 week time to complete it and upload the answers in the LMS. Homework right now, and let me know if you can see some problems in the assignment. Just check it right now. In the homework number one, I upload a file for you, a PDF file for you. In that PDF file, we have two questions, two separate questions, and you can see that via the description of the questions, and each of those questions have um, two sub questions. Okay, check it. Did you do sound right there? Okay, thank you, Naima. Okay. Um, in the past session, we talked about wireless LANs, and now we want to talk about cellular networks and 4G and 5G technologies in cellular networks. In today's one of the basic technologies that we use to connect to internet regularly, commonly, is cell phone technology. Uh, this cell phone technology is a wide area mobile connection solution. It means that I can use cell phone technologies, cellular network technology, to connect to remote base stations, remote from my site, maybe a few kilometers, a few 100 meters, or maybe a few kilometers. The distance between me and the base station is. So we call it a wide area mobile communication. And mobile means that I can move inside the cell, can go around inside the cell, and maybe sometimes I can leave one cell and enter to another cell. Okay, so we call it a mobile solution. That means that I can move freely inside a network, inside a cell, or moving, departing one cell and arriving to another cell. The cellular technology today's is deployed widespread. It's deployed in most of the places and in the world. And if you look on, for example, Cisco statistics, Cisco has a special service for prediction on network statistics. You can search and find it easily over the internet. In 2019, number of mobile broadband connected devices against number of fixed broadband connected devices was 5 to 1. It means that if I have one fixed broadband connected device to the internet, at the same time I have 5 different mobile broadband connected devices. That is great. It means that most of today's internet users, most of them are using mobile services rather than using fixed connections. Okay. For example, in Korea, South Korea, 97% of people are using 4G, can use 4G connections. In the USA, 90% of the country is covered by the 4G technology, and now we can see that the Chinese scientists deployed 5G technology in their country and in several other countries. In Iran, we have some 5G networks too. Okay, in 4G technology, the transmission rate is up to 100 megabit per second, and in 4G we are using standard techniques deployed in third generation technologies, in third generation solution of the cellular networks, third generation partnership project 3GPP, and LTE. In 4G we can see the LTE standard, or long term evaluation standard, is dominant over the cellular networks all around the world. Okay, let me try to compare cellular technologies with fixed or wired broadband technologies. If we try to talk about the similarity between the wired and wireless technologies here, is that although we can say that we can see that at the edge we are using wired or wireless technology, at the core of network, both of them, both wireless or wired technology, use similar carrier. Okay, and also we can see that the global cellular network is a part of today's internet. It consists of some network of networks, and in 4G and 5G technology we can see that the scientists use several IP protocols in the back end of those cellular networks. They are using IP technology, IP, HTTPS, DNS, TCP, UDP, IP, NAT, and several other protocols, Ethernet, tunneling, SDN. Okay, both of them in 4G, 5G cellular networks and or in wired network. The backbone of those networks is IP. And both of those wired or wireless technology are connected to the internet via a wired backbone. Both of them. Okay. But what is the difference between them, between a wired network and wireless cellular network. The first and main difference is using the wireless link layer. Here in cellular network we are using a wireless connection, but in a wired network we are using a wire between, for example, my home and the ISP. Okay. The second difference between these two connections is that here in cellular network, the users can be mobile. In other words, I can say the mobility is the number one, the first class service of a cellular network. That is great. Just I use a SIM card, nothing else. A cell phone and a SIM card. Then I can move across my country, okay, across the world. I can, for example, travel to Iraq and use my cell phone in Iraq just by using my SIM card, or moving toward, for example, going to Canada and on the other side of the world, and again I can use my SIM card over there. Just I need to use that SIM card. That SIM card makes clear that who am I. Okay. So my identity is my SIM card. I can be known in the network using that SIM card. In a wired network, I should, for example, I'm using an ADSL connection. In ADSL technology, I should announce my static, my I should connect to ISP using my public telephone, my wired telephone, okay, telephone number. I should announce the my phone number, my public phone number, my wired phone number to them, and they can they make a connection toward my home over that phone number. But here, just I'm using a SIM card. Okay. The first difference between them is that here the business model is completely different from those business model in a wired network. Why? Because basically when we develop a cellular network, in a cellular network we try to support and to make a wireless connection and support phone calls basically, and after that in 3G technology, after that in 3G technology, 2G and 4G, and after that in 5G, the telecommunication companies try to adopt their technologies with data world. Travel. When I'm using a wired technology, for example, using an ADSL technology, ADSL line connected to my home, I cannot move across the. I cannot move even to the other side of the street. I can use my ADSL inside my home. But in cellular network, I can move across the country. For example, I can move from Iraq to Tehran, to Mashhad, to Bandar Abbas, to Tabriz. Okay, I can move to Baghdad, and again at the same time I can connect to the network. So I have a home network, a visitor network, and I can change my room from my home network to the visited network. Okay, so I have a global access. I need an authentication infrastructure. How the telecommunication company can define that I am using, for example, the internet service over the network? They should authenticate me firstly. Again, I'm moving across the country. So, for example, if I'm in Iraq, I'm traveling to Mashhad. So, at the same time, the telecommunication company should know or should authenticate me. Okay, Hossein is in Mashhad. So, they authenticate me, and then they will send a bill for me at the end of month. Okay, you travel to Mashhad, you use your SIM card. In Mashhad, you use your data connection in Mashhad, so you should pay. How? They authenticate me in Mashhad. So my telecommunication company needs an authentication infrastructure to do this. And sometimes, for example, if I travel to Karbala, to Najaf, to Samarra, to Kazamain, okay, at that time I'm moving to Iraq, and in Iraq I'm using a service from another company. It means that that company who served me in Iraq should make an inter-carrier settlement. Make an agreement. Firstly, it should make an agreement with Iranian telecommunication companies, and then I can use my cell phone in Iraq. And then my connection, I have an inter-carrier connection. The telecommunication company in Iraq should forward my connection to Iranian telecommunication company, and then they should authenticate me. They should forward my call toward the destination. So the technology used in cellular networks, in wireless cellular networks, is completely different from those technology have been used in wired environments, wired internet. Okay? So if I'm in 4G technology, when we say that, okay, I'm using an LTE technology, we have some elements. The first and the main element is my mobile device, a smartphone, a tablet, a laptop, or any other devices, okay? Any other devices that I can connect from that device, connecting to a 4G or an LTE infrastructure. When we talked about the cell phone and using cell phone technology over, for example, on a smartphone, we need a SIM card. SIM is an abbreviation for subscriber identity module. In 4G technology, this module has some changes when we compared it with 2G or 3G technology. But at the same time, we have a 64-bit international mobile subscriber identity, or IMSI. When I'm connecting to internet, the IMSI of my cell phone should be registered in the telecommunication company. So no. Just I made an interrupt in my voice. Excuse me for that. Okay, so I'm using two identification in my cell phone. The first one is IMSI, which is something MAC address. IMSI is placed in my cell phone, and when I'm connecting to a mobile cell phone network, the network can identify my cell phone device using that IMSI. Each of those places for SIM cards. For example, you have a cell phone with two places for SIM card. Okay, each of those places has a different IMSI identity. It's a 64-bit identity, and it's an international identity. Okay, and we use this ID to make it clear which I'm using which device. This ID is unique. Okay, the second identity that I'm using my cellular network is my SIM card, and we know that the SIM card is something related and dependent to my telecommunication company. If I want to use a service from a specific company, I should buy the SIM card of that company, SIM card from that company. Then I can use it. Okay. So we have a user equipment, or maybe someone said LT jargon. This is a user equipment. I'm connecting to the LTE network using that mobile device. Okay, look at this figure here. Let me zoom this one here. Here we have some cells And at the heart of those cells, we can see again a BTS. The mobile devices are connected to that BTS. Okay. In LTE, we say base station or E-node-B in LTE. In cellular network, as we talked about it in the last sessions, it's cellular network. In wireless network, we call this tower, we call it a base station. In LTE technology, we call it E-node-B. We call the mobile device as UE in LTE. These terms are something in LTE technology. Please be care about this. In LTE, we call the UE. We call mobile devices as UE. The base station is E-node-B. And you can see that some of those cells are connected to a bigger cloud, a bigger network. Here, some cells, okay, a few cells are connected to a bigger network. Here, when we talked about those cells only prepare a radio access for me. So we call them radio access network. It means that here I'm using a two-level hierarchy network in LTE architecture. The first level is radio access network. In this level, just using some E-node-B, we try to connect different devices to a cellular network. And then in EPC is enhanced packet core. And now in 4G technology, this core is fully IP core. If I go back toward the story, the first generation of the cell phone was an analog network. The second generation was a digital version of our telecommunication company. In first and second generations, we use circuit switching technology, same as the other telecommunication networks. Okay, in first and second generation, the first one was an analog network. The second one was a digital network, digital circuit switching network. Okay? But in the third generation, for the first time, we can see there are some IP backbones in cellular networks. But some parts of networks use IP technology. Just some parts. Okay? But in 4G, we can see that the backbone of network is fully IP-based technology. So we said all IP enhanced packet core or all IP EPC. So this backbone is EPC, enhanced packet core. And you can see that at this time, during the history, at this time we should forget circuit switching technology in most of cases, especially in phone networks. Okay, in EPC you can see that we have a backbone of some connected devices, some connected routers. Okay. Service gateway routers, PDG gateway routers, a link toward the internet. If I want to use a data service, so I should connect to internet. So we can see there is a PDN gateway or PGW gateway, a gateway toward the internet. And at the same time, you can see two other main servers. Please remember these servers. One of them is Home Subscriber Service, or HSS. Remember this service, this server, Home Subscriber Service. Why we should remember this? Look at this database. The database connected to HSS server. What's that database? What is the role of this service, this server here? When I'm buying a SIM card, a new SIM card, I should prepare some information about my identity. And the company will register those identity information of mine. Okay? Those information should register in this database. The database connected to Home Subscriber Service, or HSS. So the company can know who am I. Always they know who am I, because my identity information has been saved in this database. And when I'm trying to call someone else, my call will forward to this service, to HSS server. Okay, and at that time, at that place in HSS server, I will be authenticated. Who am I? Oh, here's Hussein. So he can use, for example, a phone call service. But he cannot use an internet service. His service is finished, or his account is blocked. So block his phone call. Okay. Here in HSS service, the company can decide about my request, a request for making a phone call, or a request for using internet. Here in HSS service, we can think about this and making a decision about each of those requests from the users. And we have another main service too, Mobility Management Entity, or MME. What is this? MME server is used to handle my mobility behavior. I said that I can move across the country, even across the world. So who am I? For example, in Iraq, who am I? The company in Iraq will look for my cell phone. Okay, this cell phone number is for Iran, for example. So I should forward it if there is an agreement. If there is an agreement between an Iraqi telecommunication company and an Iranian telecommunication company, then that Iraqi company will forward my call and my information toward the Iranian company. And they ask, okay, who is he? He's trying to make a connection. Do you know him? And then the Iranian company will look for my in my HSS. In the HSS, they look for my cell phone, for my information, and say, okay, I know who is Hussein, for example. Okay, so just service it. We will pay for his connection next time. Okay, maybe say, okay, I don't know who is Hussein. I'm sorry, I don't know who is him. So just block him. I don't know who he is. So the base station is the edge of the carrier network. The base station manages the wireless resources, mobility devices, those connected to the base station in this cell, coordinating device authentication over the element. This base station is something similar to Wi-Fi access point. However, in Wi-Fi access point, the role of a mobile user is limited in Wi-Fi networks, but here in cell phones, cellular technologies, we can see the user mobility is very important. So we should actively handle mobilities in wireless networks. And as I see, we called it in LT. We called the base station as E node B. Home subscriber service, we talked about this one, and also we talked about the gateway toward the internet, or serving gateway and PDN gateways. We talked about them, and we said that okay, if you want to make a phone call, you should use those gateways connecting toward another server, or making it and using a tunnel, something like that. Okay. And in mobility management entity, as I said, when I'm moving from one network to another network, using MCI SIM card, and an e-answer SIM card. Okay, I have two SIM cards. So when I'm moving, for example, from Arak to Mashhad, still I'm under the coverage of MCI network. So in this case, I can use the HS services. But sometimes I'm moving between the cells, or maybe I'm moving from network of one company to a network of another company. So here we have to manage the mobile device, because that mobile device handovers from one cell to another cell. So we should track that mobile device, and when there is a call, we should page for device location to find it, and finally we should create a path, a tunnel between the caller and me. Okay, creating this path is a part of task that should be done by PGW. Okay, over PGW, we try to set up that tunnel or path between the caller